Okay. Whoa. I was not expecting part 1 to blow up this much, especially considering most of the new viewers are from Switzerland. Well, you're posting videos of Swiss trains, why wouldn't they? I know, right? But seriously, I made that last video to be more understandable to my American audience. You know, my main one. Hence the use of American terminology such as switching, and the constant references to American trains. After all, I wouldn't expect many Swiss people to know what a Whiteface-9 is. Well, somehow, the video took off in Switzerland way better than it did here, and I've received quite a lot of comments from new viewers in Europe who found my channel through that video. It's definitely a welcome surprise, and going forward, I guess I'll have to use less American terminology to make it more understandable to international viewers. Or maybe not. Tell me how you feel about me saying stuff like XLMS Conrail C40-8W in the comments. Welcome back to the Swiss Alps. If you watched part 1 of this mini-series, great, you're all caught up. If not, here, let me explain it for you. I'm in Switzerland. There, you're all caught up. Now, let's resume with the video. May 14th, 2026, the same day as the last video was shot, I got off at Igi Station, just south of Landquart, and set my bags and stuff down on my Airbnb. It was only about 1 in the afternoon, so I still had half a day to kill. Thus, I went on RhB's website. Oh yeah, that's a thing RhB does. They publish their freight train schedules. On top of that, they post a daily list of what locomotive is working, what train it's working on, and where it's working at. Updating daily. We really need to do this in America. Anyways, I looked at the schedule and saw there was allegedly going to be a freight train going through Aegis at around 4:30 p.m. Perfect, I said, feeling good about having just caught that one at Landquart earlier. So I walked down to this crossing I had seen on my way in, located on a little road that has no name, just south of Aegis Station. Walking there, I saw this pseudo-Span flirt pass by. That's another thing I should mention. From this crossing, you also get a good view of the standard gauge trains passing by as they head into Chur or outward at Zurich. Our first train of the RhB, an ABE 416 Allegra. Despite being similar in design to the ABE 812 EMU that shares the same name, the trains are actually quite different, the 4-car trains only serving around the Chur area and lacking the dual voltage capabilities their 3-car counterparts have. This bird appeared to be hovering in the air with how strong the wind was. Our second RhB train comes. This one, an ABE 416 Capricorn. One of many more to come. It was also here that it started raining. A speedy little Stadler GTW flies by, catching me by surprise. Another pseudo-Span Traverso flirt passes by. These trains caused quite a bit of a comment war in my last video. An intercity train with recently refurbished IC 2000 coaches passes by. An intercity train heads the other way, this one with SCB's single-level EW4 coaches. One of SCB's new Stadler Kiss EMUs now passes as a Turbo GTW heads the other way. The ringing here is the crossing activating for the next RhB train. Similar to Japan, European crossings tend to activate about a minute before the train actually shows up. With the rain coming down, I decided to shoot this Capricorn long to avoid water getting in my lens. I was cold. I also did not have an umbrella. Despite all this, I was determined to see that freight train, and was more than willing to brave a rainstorm to see it. After all, I'm no stranger to the Arizona monsoons. Another Capricorn. Yay! I should add that the commuter services used to be served by a mix of ABE 416 Allegras, the now retired BE 44, and push-pulls consisting of EW coaches with a cab car at one end and a conventional electric engine on the other. Up until 2023, regional trains also ran through here all the way from DeSantis on the Surselva line to Schul-Terasp, a mere 18 kilometers away from the Austrian border. Now, however, this service has been abolished, and it's just the Capricorns that do commuter services that serve this line. Just when the rain was at its worst, I began to notice clear skies in the valley just a few kilometers away. While this happened, another Stadler Kiss came by. The rain started to clear as another intercity passes, this one served by a Bombardier Trax EMU. The rain is just about stopped. Now we see an IC 2000 train heading back out to Zurich. I decided to take this distance shot to showcase how quickly the weather changed. The sun began to shine as that pseudo-Schmann flirt heads back the way it came. Perfect timing. And another GTW, for good measure. That Capricorn again. But at least the rain is now stopped, and the sun is out like nothing even happened. We can even see the tops of the nearby mountains now. Despite the rain being gone, the wind is still here. Here we see another Allegra. I do greatly prefer the Allegras over the Capricorns, but I admit they're not the most exciting things either. The GTW heads back the other way. The Stadler GTW EMUs that work for Turbo are to be gradually retired starting in 2026 and sold to work in Hungary. Another Pseudospan flirt. An ICE-4 arrives on approach to its final destination, Chur. This one has definitely had a long trip behind it, having come all the way from Hamburg, Germany. Oh, and there's the tracks from before too. Another Stadler kiss. I move to the other side of the crossing now for some different angles. Here we see another GTW. A Capricorn passes in front of the impressive cliffs that overlook the towns of Aegis and Sietzers. Note the snow on the very top of them. Sadly, the train was kind of obscured by this hype on the ground, but then again, it's a Capricorn, so I have no reason to care. The sun has fallen behind the clouds again as this GTW heads outward. An Allegra passes by shortly after. This flirt caught me by surprise. Another train of IC2000 coaches passes by and meets the ICE4 we saw previously. Back to Hamburg it goes. I decided to change locations. I left the crossing, moved to this little field just on the other side of the trees, which helped to block the wind and keep things a little bit warmer. Another GTW approaches Kur as I set up. The Allegra from before heads the other way. Hello, Mr. Capricorn. And hello, Mr. GTW. I am personally impressed by the speed of these little things. Moving back to the crossing, we see another flirt. Now, another set of track CMUs heads in. Heading back the other way is the IC2000 we saw earlier. Away goes the pair of Stadler flirts. One more GTW. It was now past 5 p.m. I had not seen the freight train I was after, and I was genuinely on the verge of collapsing, being tired from staying up for more than 24 hours straight with a few attempted naps in between. The cold weather did not help. I decided to shoot one more RhB train before calling it a day. So here it is. An ABE 416 Allegra. Okay, time to head back now and get some sleep. Okay, fine, one more. And lastly, one more scene on the walk back to the Airbnb. So, to conclude this video, I was rather disappointed that I never got to see the freight train I was after. It just never ran. It was a Monday, but it was also May 14th, which was a holy day of obligation in the Catholic Church, and Switzerland is a country that takes religion far more seriously than America. But wait, no, that can't be the case because I saw that freight train in Landquart earlier. I guess I just misread the schedule, or it's an as-needed train or something. Either way, I made it back to the Airbnb, ate a very light meal for dinner, and went to sleep. I thought I had set my alarm to wake me up at 7 p.m. to say goodnight to everyone online, but somehow I didn't. And I awoke to find out it was 6 a.m. the next morning. Oh well, at least I got some uninterrupted and well-deserved rest, and now I felt refreshed to begin my plans for the next morning. But that's a story we'll get to in another video. Chartreuse Railfanning signing off.